Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where last episode we achieved great power status. And that is great. Literally, that is quite great. Where are we in the actual rankings here? Like, how much more ranking do we need to make our way up? Can we see, where do we see that again? I've completely forgotten where we see that. Okay, that's exciting. It's right here. Perfect. Okay, this is needing to be sorted by prestige. Funnily enough, we're ranked above these guys, despite them having, like, double our prestige. Okay, noted. So we will continue to work our way up this list, right? That's our current goal. Our population is way smaller than everyone else with great power status. And I think the reason that these guys don't have great power status is they're an unrecognized major power. Okay. They're perceived as inferior and uncivilized by the reigning great powers. They must claim recognition through a diplomatic play. That's interesting. Well, anyway, we're going to continue to tick on forward here. I'm guessing Peru, Bolivia is still in that, yeah, they're still in the Russian market. They still have the defensive pact, correct? Yeah. This is probably going to mean that we're not going to do any additional military. We'll see. We'll see. But we don't have much for targets, that's for sure. Now, our government is only contested right now. There's not a lot we can do about that. Financially, we're on low taxes. Our government wages are even. Our military wages are up. And our military is up as well. So this is all looking very good, right? Financially, economically, things are going very well. We do have an input goods shortage of electricity right now. And radios. We don't have the ability to make radios, if I recall correctly. We'll get rid of that trade route. And how long on some of these power plants? Okay, like 17 weeks overall. That's not too bad. So that'll help matters. And we're lacking tech for radios, correct? If I recall correctly, yes. That would take us 3 years to research. I think for the time being, it's okay to not research it. We're now at exactly 2/3 literacy. We would definitely like to bring that up further. What can we do about that? Hypothetically. We're on compulsory primary school. What else would we want? We can't bring up our education institution, which surprises me. Oh, we can't afford the bureaucracy. That's the only reason. Well, in that case, we should build the government administration. There we go. That will generate us some bureaucracy. 100. We might actually need to build 2. So let's go ahead and build 2 in Cordoba. There we go. Cool. So this is all looking good, right? We've got a lot of constructions underway. 33 weeks left on this queue. That shouldn't be too bad. Finishing up a steel mill next week. That's a very good thing for us. Automobiles are currently expensive. We do have a motor industry underway. So that should be reasonably fine. Rubber, nothing we can do about that. Oil, we're maximally producing. If I recall correctly. Yes. Yes, we are. I really wish we could get more rubber plantations. But sadly, this is as far as we can go, as far as our rubber goes. It makes me very, very sad indeed. Now, our radicalism is ticking up, and our loyalists are ticking down. Our standard of living is fairly even. Our GDP is still climbing. We're number 1 per capita. And our GDP overall is number 8 worldwide. So that's looking good. Now, we're dipping negative a little bit. We've got plenty of gold reserves, plenty of investment pool. I'm not concerned about this. This seems fine. We'll just let these power plants finish up. That alone will likely do a lot of good for our economy. Just getting all these power plants done. We're running a big electricity input goods shortage right now, and we're about to finish up 7 of them. There we go. And with all of those finishing up, oh yeah, this is going to help the price a lot. Yeah, down to 55.6. Beautiful. And then, well, this is the Santiago price. The market price is 48.7. Yeah, this is very, very good. And this is going to further expand. Or actually, we already finished it. Okay, so 49% throughput. That's not bad. 29 from economy of scale and 20 from trade unions. So that seems very good. Weekly balance is currently negative. So that means that we don't want to continue to expand our power plant, right? For the moment, anyway. But we're back to being very positive financially. All is looking good there. Market access in Santiago dropped. That's not surprising considering what we just built there. That would be exceeding its infrastructure cap. We'll go ahead and get another railway going there. And we're not capping out our construction at this moment. So what we want to do here is we want to move this up so that this is 10 weeks left instead of 25. So that this caps out better. There we go. That's much better. So this is now 9 weeks left, and so more will queue up. At the end of this week. There we go. 8 weeks left. Okay, maybe more won't queue up, but we're maxed out anyway, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, we're pulling out of our investment pool. Minus 25k per week. Looks good. Slightly negative in our balance here. I'm fine with that. Our GDP continues to climb. We're now at number 8 worldwide. We're a little ways away from Italy. But we may be bypassing Italy and the East India Company and the Free States of America fairly soon. Like, we are very on the rise here. We've gone up to position 8 in the world now. That's a good sign. And we're just continuing to construct like madmen. I love it. Our population is soaring. Unfortunately, our radicals are decreasing right now. Our loyalists are very slightly increasing. Standard of living? Yeah, it's due to standard of living. Fair enough. I would like to cut our taxes further, and we should also go ahead and move up our education level. There we go. So that is underway. That'll take some time. Any other law or institution changes we want to make? We could bump up our social security. How much are we paying on welfare? Honestly, I feel like that's probably not too bad. Let's go ahead and do that. That will raise up the standard of living on our low end, which seems reasonably fine. We'll have to keep an eye on our bureaucracy. We may require a little bit more. We have 237. Did that say how much it was going to cost? 97 each? We probably should build another government administration somewhere then. We'll build it again in Cordoba. Mendoza crop failure, huh? That's a lot for 2 years? 5-year crop failure, though? That's tough. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt a lot. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's finally putting a dent in our growing GDP. Unsurprising. And we'll see how much of a dent. To be honest, agriculture is not that big of a contributor to our economy, but it is kind of a baseline in our economy. So we'll need to keep an eye on that. Santa Fe is going to require additional railways as well. Looks like that's already being done. And we're projecting a bureaucratic shortfall, as expected. We have this government administration being built. So that should be reasonably fine. Are we back to climbing in our GDP? Yes. Yes, we are. We're back to climbing in our GDP. I like it. We're still short on radios. Not a lot we can do on that. The same with oil. We're extracting all of the oil we can. Unless we were to attack Brazil, I suppose. But Brazil is very much on our side here. We're allied with Brazil, and they're in our market. So I don't think that really matters all that much. Peru, Bolivia is in the Russian market, which is painful. They would not change to our customs union. We're going to stop damaging relations and begin improving. I don't think that we're going to actually have any issues here. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to fight them. So in which case, we may want to bring them into our market diplomatically. I would prefer to fight them, but with the Russians being in a defensive pact with them, that's likely not going to be a thing. Cool. Okay, so our GDP is back to climbing. This was barely a blip. I love it. And our construction is proceeding apace. Radicalism ticking down. Loyalists not really ticking up, but for the moment, that's to be expected, I think. And yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. We're still projecting a bureaucratic shortfall, looks like. Noted. In which case, we'll get another government administration building up. We'll build this one also in Cordoba. There we go. Now we definitely shouldn't have a bureaucratic shortfall. Definitely. Let's see here. This railway can be moved up to the top. And so we are now showing a 7-week construction queue. That's looking good. We are constructing everything here, so we can queue up more. But that said, we may not actually have more to queue up, right? That is definitely a thing to think about. Automatic machine guns have finished up. Machine gunners can now be utilized. So we could think about grabbing that. We're a little negative in our cash right now, and that would be pretty painful. But we should be able to afford it in the medium to long term. So we'll go ahead and grab machine gunners. That'll put us very, very negative here, for sure. We could go down to electric trains. Which would mean that we don't need to construct the infrastructure that's currently queued up, in theory. Do it. We could go to steel passenger carriages as well. I don't think that's worthwhile. I don't want to drive the price of transportation down this much. We're already driving it down wildly with electric trains. So what does that do to our electricity costs? That's the question right now. Do we have the electric capacity for it? Looks like we do. Okay. This is only the number 35 most productive power plant in the world? Hilarious. Looks like that's mostly because the price dropped. That's fine. That's exactly what we wanted. Small arms are expensive. That does mean that we should see some arms manufactories queuing up here eventually. And we're back to positive financially. Looks great. Looks absolutely great. Mechanized agriculture was just completed. Cool. The mechanization of farming. So, +3 minimum wealth or +20% throughput. That'll offset our crop failure. Somewhat. Not entirely, but somewhat. So that's what we're going to do for now. And our GDP is just continuing to soar here. I love it. This is going very, very well. All of this will finish up. The government administration is now done. We're no longer expecting a bureaucratic shortfall. That's for sure. This is saying that we'll eventually be overstretched. I don't think we will. We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. So that should be absolutely fine. And checking in on the price of power here. Yeah, it's acceptable. I wouldn't mind it dropping a little bit, sure, but it's reasonably acceptable. We're getting close to 10 million populace. of which almost 4 million are loyalists. That's going very, very well. Can we get our legitimacy up at all? Unfortunately, we cannot. I wish we could. But that's just not an option. We dip negative financially here. That is because we're not pulling out of our investment pool as much. It's fine. We do have some unrealized taxes here due to average tax waste. Why are we running 5% tax waste? We've got plenty of taxation capacity. So why do we have this 7K that's not being taxed? I wish it said. It probably does somewhere, but I don't actually know where. There's 2.6% turmoil. Okay. Is it just a malice in here? Okay, our ruler has expensive tastes. That's what's doing it. Got it. So that's fine. No problem whatsoever there. We are about to hit 175 million GDP. This is getting insane. Like, look how sharp and how steady this climb has been ever since we started it. That's nutty. Absolutely nutty. I like it. Looks like we do need to move this guy to the top. Now there's only 4 weeks in that construction queue. Better queue up more. Hopefully. Didn't really happen. But that's fine. That's reasonably fine. 175 million. And there's our education investment going up. So our literacy should start to climb more. Excellent. Generating some innovation there. And that, of course, will help out our modern financial instruments, which we're 4 months away on. That's not too bad at all. We are getting close to the end of the game here. That is in 1936. So we've only got like 8 years left. Social Security comes up to level 4. Beautiful. A can-do attitude, huh? We could develop a can opener. Or, that's really expensive for 5 years. That's insane. Or we could just get -2 armed forces interest group approval. Thank you very much. That's what we're going for. They'll figure out how to get into their cans. I'm sure. Cool. So we're definitely going to hit 10 million populace very soon. No doubt about that. Glass is expensive. Unsurprising. Okay, that is being expanded, so that's fine. No problem whatsoever there. We're expanding our glassworks, so we're already addressing it. Cool. I really wish we could attack Peru, Bolivia. I really do. But that defensive pact with Russia definitely stops us. There's no way we can fight Russia. Automatic bottle glowers apparently, have finished up for the glassworks, so we can improve the throughput of our glassworks, which would be great. We definitely want to do that. Did I pass it? Yes, I did. Automatic battle glowers, apparently. Sure. So oil tools and reduced labor employment. I don't love that oil. That doesn't actually help our production. We could look to import oil from Venezuela. Sure. We'll import some oil anyway. Automobiles need to be worked on, of course. Our Buenos Aires motor industries are ones that are working on automobiles. So that's being worked on. Yeah, that doesn't really help, does it? Not really. Okay. Nothing we can do about glass, and we will work on radios as soon as we're done with modern financial instruments. What is going on here? Netherlands is being attacked by communist Netherlands. I'm not going to raise anything up at this moment. We'll see if these guys back down. But they're confident, so they probably won't. But we'll give it a little bit of time. We're negative right now financially, and I'd like some time to finish up some of these agricultural constructions so that we're not negative here in a moment. So we'll let that go for about a month. Should be fine. We are going to need to get ourselves a general, right? That's definitely something that we'll need. And we'll recruit him actually out of the Brazil HQ here. There we go. And we'll just send him on over. That's only 10 units being sent there. The Communist Party was just formed. Austria just sided with the Communist Netherlands. And Netherlands backed down. Okay, so we don't need to do anything. So this is now Communist Netherlands. Sure. Well, that's fine. We don't really have a problem with that. How strong are we in relation to Austria? Out of curiosity. I mean, they have a lot of battalions in comparison to us. They're the #2 great power after Germany. So we probably wouldn't want to do that. Yeah, most likely not. For the moment, I'm perfectly content watching our GDP skyrocket like this. 10% minting and -2% loan interest rate. That means, of course, that we're going to go over to radios. Fantastic. Focusing on getting our literacy up earlier definitely would have been beneficial. I think there's no doubt about that. But we've hit our curve nicely here, and, like, we're going up faster than ever right now. Okay, technically we went slightly down there, but it's fine. Cool. Standard of living is now #1 worldwide. I love it. #8 worldwide for GDP still, and GDP per capita, #1 worldwide. For a pop, we're at 21 worldwide. So we're definitely doing far better than we should, given our population size. There's no doubt about that. What do we got going on here? Small arms are expensive. Are we working on that? Arms industries. Yes, we are. Gotta love it. I really do wish we could fight Peru, Bolivia. We could look to annex Brazil, I suppose, but I really feel like we're better off having them as friends. After all, Victoria is more of an economic game than it is a war game, right? So we're definitely winning the economic fight. There's no doubt about that. We are hard winning this. Out of curiosity, at this point, sort by GDP, and the Free States of America are 206.2 million. And look at their GDP there. Oof. Well, actually, let's look at all of these. Here's Germany's GDP. Austria's GDP. That one's not terrible. Italy's GDP. That's due to... this spike here is due to their civil war. Russia's GDP. They're doing well. China's GDP. They're doing okay. East India Company. They're doing pretty well. Free States of America. Not so much. France? What? Why are you here? Get out of here, France. We're sorted by GDP. Okay. Fantastic. Macroeconomics has just been unlocked, but our GDP is doing so much better than everyone else's right now. We are absolutely skyrocketing. What is this? Diplomatic play in Brazil. Interesting. Russia and the East India Company are leaning towards Graupara, as opposed to communist Graupara. We'll lean that way as well, and we'll see if they offer us anything. Cool. Overly enthusiastic partisans, huh? Sure. That's very split between the Communist Party and the Free Trade Party. Okay. We may end up going communist here. We'll see. We're kind of heading down that road, law and institution-wise, right? Brazil sided with the communists. That's ambitious. Good luck with that, Brazil. We are not helping you there. That is really ambitious. Really, really, really ambitious. Okay. Well, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, I do believe that we're going to break 200 million GDP at this rate. Fantastic. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisil, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.